What's up? So how about that presentation for Dybala? Man, that was just like it looked like a Rolling Stones concert in Rome. To be honest with you, like the amount of people that came out, it's just a testament to how passionate and strong Roma's fan base is. And I think that some other fans around Italian football and football in general look at it and they're like, why are they going crazy? The guy hasn't even touched a ball yet. Like, what is this all about? But it shows you just how much that this game, that it's a lifestyle. It's not just simply a matter of athletics or showing up on Sunday to your favorite sport. It's much more than that. It is absolutely showing that the people of this city live and breathe along with the team. And to me, it makes me think of like just how much the city has needed an ownership that understands that and wants to pump those resources back into the team and give something legitimate, give a tangible stadium plan, something that's going to happen long term, bring in winning coaches, winning players. And when you see that and it's reciprocal, well, that's exactly it's manifested in the Dybala presentation. You get exactly why millions of fans come out to the streets when Roma wins the third level of European competition, the Conference League, right? It looked like Roma won the Champions League and Serie A in the same year, but in fact, it was just the Conference League. But you see how much this truly means to the people. So it's phenomenal. Let me put up some banners here. There we go. Let's get this going. Get this show on the road. So I just want to read some of the comments here from Roma's official website. So they titled this one "World Goes Crazy for Dybala Presentation Event." You know, one thing that I was thinking of as well throughout I guess the social media perspective of it is how many people were taking Roma's videos, because there's a way to tweet video. So if somebody publishes it, they publish a video on Twitter. What a user can do is they can just tweet out the same video, but it doesn't appear, well, it's very subliminal. It's at the bottom of the video about where it's originally sourced from. So Roma puts out this phenomenal presentation, yet there's journalists and other people ripping these videos or using that without where in a sense where it looks like it's their video. And I think this is not the fault of the journalists and people who do that, but of the way that Twitter presents the videos and allows this, because really what it should be is a quote tweet, because it's someone else's material. And what you're doing by that is you are putting it under your profile and it looks like it's your video, and it's being used for personal purposes rather than for the intent of for the it's being appropriated in a way that to me just looks a little funky. Like I would feel a certain way. I've had videos I published used that I take from other places, and I'm like, oh, it's all fair game. You know, I didn't make the video. I don't record this, so whether it's like a vintage goal or something like that. But when it's something that a team or an entity spent a lot of money on, and then it's ultimately the engagement and the press isn't being rewarded to their page, to me, I would feel a little bad in that regard. And I did see a lot of the videos being pushed around, which were illegally taken and stripped. And to me, it's a form of plagiarism. But I think that Twitter needs to do a better job at making sure that those videos just quote tweeted, in my opinion. But ultimately, any press is good press. And I think that with everybody watching Dybala, they realize the legitimacy of the ownership, that Roma is becoming a big club. And overall, it was an amazing thing to see. So let me get back to the article. My rant about plagiarism is over. So Roma fans are the talk of the world football, after they showed their passion once again on Tuesday night, affording Paulo Dybala an unforgettable welcome at a special event to present the Argentine. Dybala, who has taken the number 21 shirt, met the fans for the first time at a blockbuster event at Fendi headquarters in the Yor district of the city, with the striking building providing a stunning backdrop for an unforgettable event. Over 10,000 fans were in attendance to welcome Dybala. Jeez. The resulting footage was shared far and wide across social media, with one clip taken from the club's live stream of the event quickly surpassing 14 million views. It's insane. After a brief intro from the event host and a special light show projected onto the side of the Fendi building, Dybala came out to a hero's reception. He then proceeded to answer a few questions from the host before savoring the occasion and posing for photos on the steps in front of the fans. Here's what Dybala had to say during the event. Ciao Roma, thank you so much for everything, he began. As I said earlier, I was really looking forward to meeting you all. I have played against Roma a number of times, and it was always tough. Not just because of the quality of the team, but also because of the support you guys give the team. Having now had the privilege of feeling your support and passion, I'm realizing that I just cannot wait to run out at the Olimpico in front of the Curva Sud. He added, the most important thing now is to get myself in top form. The staff are helping me get ready to be available and start giving back to this amazing fan base. With a famous celebration that features a gladiator mask, Dybala was asked if coming to Rome was perhaps always written in the stars for him. Definitely, he said, given what this city meant to me when I was growing up, it feels like it was meant to be. Those who know me know exactly how special this is, all for me. That was so cool what it was broadcasted. So that building is it's leased out by Fendi for almost 3 million euros per year. It was built by 3 different architects during the fascist era. It was meant to symbolize the past, the present, and the future with its the white facade. It's completely white buildings. Sometimes you'll see these around Rome. They are old fascist buildings meant to symbolize grandeur. So now, of course, as history goes on, the space has been used for different things through the years, but now Fendi, who is an official partner of Roma, do lease it out, as I said, for almost 3 million euros per year. So pretty wild stuff. And to see the facade draped in that video presentation, how did they figure that out? Is really cool. Hey, Fortunato, thanks for checking in. So the presentation was insane. I want to talk about Wijnaldum right now and Bailey. So we see that, you never read too much into links, and for me, until Sky Sports or Di Marzio starts tweeting about them, and the press really picks up from there. You got other guys like Corriere dello Sport, Tutto Mercato Web, and when they report news, it's just tabloids. But once it gets to that level, you realize, okay, maybe there is some legitimacy to this. So Wijnaldum, to me, is an interesting option. It's hard to know if he's the perfect player for a 4-2-3-1 or a 3-5-2, but either way, I imagine that he would pick up the role that Mkhitaryan was playing, albeit a bit more mobile, fast, and has that endurance that Mkhitaryan started to get a little older. I'm 32. Mkhitaryan must be 33, almost 34. And I tell you, I don't have the pace that the younger guys have. The 20-year-old, 20 to 25-year-olds, they move so much different than us. And I'm relatively fit. Like, I exercise. It's not that I don't. It's just that they have that little something extra, the younger guys. So with that being said, what Wijnaldum at 28 can bring over a player who's almost 6 years older is a different edge. For Liverpool, he was a magnificent player. You saw him, a player who really wanted to take the shot, move the ball through the pitch, quick touches, can evade pressure. He can do a little bit of everything as a center mid, and I think that's a vital component to Mourinho's play. Of course, really to any manager, they need a player like that, a quality one, and one that, just like Dybala, helps you make a quality jump, the step up. So Wijnaldum, to me, would be a great asset. Does it rule out Fratesi, as is... I think Roma Press mentioned something like it wouldn't rule out Fratesi. And that's interesting to think that Wijnaldum is 31 already. No way is he that. I got to double check that. Let's check that. Breaking news. Wijnaldum is a little bit older. Let's see. Wijnaldum age. I could have swore maybe that was Bailey that I'm thinking of is 28, because Bailey's born, yeah, you're right. He's born 1990. He's the same age I am. Oh, God. So hopefully that at 31, you figure that he still has a couple more years in him. At PSG. So thanks for that, Sambello. Sambello informing me, getting my facts straight there. And then Jorge jumps in. Thinks Genie is the right one, but I have doubts about this year's salary and those to come. So what what I read a lot coming from England, when players make the jump, because English salaries, Premier League salaries, are are awesome, that when they transition to different leagues, that they have to take salary cuts, that the club that they come from has to pay at least a portion of it. I think you will see that with Wijnaldum as well as Bailly. So as Wijnaldum comes off those PSG moments, there was a little bit to be desired. From what I read, I don't watch PSG all that much, besides from the Champions League. So maybe he just needs that restart, that motivation. But I still think that he brings a next level of quality that Roma's midfield could really use, and especially with Mkhitaryan's absence and the quality that he brought for the last several seasons. Still very good, strong, and press resistant. Sam, you hit a great point here, press resistant. And that's always so important for Mourinho center mids, as they look to sustain pressure. And once they get the ball, well, what do you do with it now? And as the opposition presses into your half, you need to be press resistant. You need to be able to have that vision, that skill set where you can evade pressure, get away, take little quick touches, use your brain to make great decisions in a moment's notice. And I think that he can be really helpful in that aspect. So yeah, great jump in there. Let me get the other banner there. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Okay, very good. So with that being said, we move on to Bailly, who I think is another one. He's definitely another one who will help that jump in quality. This past season, and I think even the season before 2021, I noticed that there were some issues, many issues, with mistakes being made in along the back four or back three, back five, whatever you want to call it, as this team moved into different formations. So what does Bailly bring? Well, first off, it's a high salary. He's injury prone. Those are the two things that you have to watch out for there. Would Manchester United pay part of his salary? Most likely, I have to imagine, because he's making, I think, 4 million net after tax. So that's a steep sum there. But he's not going to play under Ten Hag. It doesn't look so likely for the new Manchester United that will be coming. Jose Mourinho is the manager who brought him in to United. He was specifically requested by the manager. So now if he goes and follows his old boss, well, it'd be a great fit overall. But I think that he's a player, once again, who makes that a little bit more, and could be someone that the other center backs really learn from, these younger guys, and just have that feeling that if Bailly could stay fit, he could be one of the top center backs in Rome. I have a couple friends, close friends. One of my best friends is a Manchester United fan. And I remember when he joined, before his injuries hit, they're like, this guy is world class. He's elite. And, when someone uses that word elite, to me, that means like, way, way, way up the highest echelon. So if Roma could get their hands on that type of player, who knows what could happen? We saw Manchester United AC Milan make some really shrewd moves last season, bringing in players from the Premier League, defenders. Sometimes it really works out. Roma as well has utilized this option quite a few times now. If you look back, mention Mkhitaryan again, Chris Smalling, Kolarov coming over from Manchester City. I feel like there's somebody I'm forgetting that joined from City. Was it Maicon? I forget, but I know that. Edin Dzeko. So those moves have worked out really well for Roma and other Serie A teams in the past. And of course, Lukaku's coming back now, which should be a really interesting one for him. Ibanez is one of the worst defenders, I think he meant to say. He makes rash decisions. Bailly is really good, but made of chips. Made of chips, meaning like he's frail. One thing that Ibanez will have to show this season is that he's going to make that jump, that he is progressing, because last season he got a little bit better, a little smarter, but then at moments, he dropped the ball and he made some really bad fouls that put Roma in some bad positions. Remembering one penalty kick, I think it was in the derby. So Ibanez is still a player that I think can play a role. One that will be a really good center back. Will he be magnificent? I think that's probably a stretch, but he's a player who shows the right attitude for sure. And I really hope that Mourinho can continue to craft him. Jean Filippo says, I'm very positive in the way that Roma is building depth and giving us flexibility in the people that will be playing. Hopefully that would reduce the risk of injuries. Yeah, totally true there, especially as the World Cup comes and the season will be condensed. There will be a lot of games in a short amount of time. And for sure, that with that depth, you get players off their legs. And hopefully the idea, as John pointed out there, is that there is just less injuries across the board. And I think that's something that has really hurt Roma throughout the past probably 15, 20 years, is that lack of depth forces players to have increased amounts of playing time. And with that, you get more injuries. It's an unfortunate thing. It stinks. And it's why teams like Juventus and Bayern Munich, these teams who are super deep with deep pockets, they have less injuries overall, aside from like Chiesa, who recently tore his ACL. But these teams do typically stay fit because with that depth, they don't have to rely on the set starting 11 week in and week out. Meanwhile, there are some players who I'm reading didn't travel, Veretout, Carles Perez, and Shomorodov. So I'm definitely paying attention to that center forward backup role with Belotti being a free player right now, as well as Luis Muriel. But more so Belotti is a player who really interests me going forward. Samuel says, what's the deal with Diawara? It looks like he doesn't really want to move. If I'm to believe what I read in the news, Diawara looks like he's sticking out. What I'm thinking is that as he looks to move, he's not being offered the same salary he's getting at Roma because he is on a pretty high wage compared to his output over the past 2 years. I would prefer Muriel over Belotti, Sam says. I think a lot of players, a lot of fans feel that Muriel is just something special. The man has such an eye for goal. My worry about Muriel is that he's definitely getting older and he's getting heavier. This guy who was not a starter because of his fitness over the past few years for Atalanta, what is he going to get? Maybe 15, 20 minutes where he can move? And even so, is his agility going to stay where it is as he gets heavier and older? So that's one concern I really have for him. Okay. So that's something there. Jorge says that Veretou's wife is giving birth and Shomorodov for political reasons. So interesting stuff there as Roma makes their way. Where are they going right now? Israel? I think they left today for Israel ahead of the match against Tottenham coming up. Right? Can someone confirm that one for me? I'm pretty sure. That's what I read this morning. Yes, it is Israel. Zaniolo and Dybala sign autographs with the fans before getting on the plane. A couple other tabloids, Galatasaray pushing on Kluivert. I'm reading off my iPad right now. Just other things going on there. So I do hope that Veretout stays because I think he is a quality player. He was up there in Roma's top assists last season, even with the amount that he played, which wasn't much at all. I'll keep reading comments as they come in for sure. And I want to go to the ins and outs as my little image that I posted on Twitter pointed out. So in, free, Dybala. These are the top ones. I'm not going to read off every single one because there are a lot that were involved in the Primavera. But in, Paulo Dybala on a free transfer. Also on a free, Miles Villar, who is the goalkeeper coming over from Benfica. Matic, also on a free. Selic, he is the only player that will be involved in the first team right now. That was paid for. That was 7.7 million. That's in dollars, but dollars are just about the same as euros right now. So figure around 7.7 million coming over from Lille. And to me, Selic looks like the man. I think this kid's going to be starting quite a bit. 25 years old, Turkish right back. It's interesting because I feel that with the counter, with the push and shove, the pendulum. There's a couple different words you could use here. The correct name is getting away from me at the moment. But as one player, the overload, as Spinazzola or Zalewski pushes up, that's going to necessitate the right back to sit back a little further. And I think that Selig will be a little bit more competent than Karsdorp doing that. So when the tactic is out there for one of the wingbacks to push way more up, I do feel that Selig will be the starting right back. Just off what I've seen, that's just like my intuition. It's nothing I've read or any report, anything like that. It's just what I'm feeling at the moment. Whereas in other formations, maybe Karsdorp will be utilized in more of an attacking role. It's important to remember Karsdorp had one of the highest outputs for balls forward of any right back in Serie A last season. I think Quadrato was the number one. If not, it was Karsdorp. Here we go. Daniele says Ibanez is a really good defender, and he will always get better match after match. The problem is Mancini. So Mancini, we see there, he just signed contract renewal. I don't think he'll be going anywhere for a while. I think Mancini is in Rome to stay. But once again, it will be interesting to see if Mourinho can really mold Mancini into making less mistakes, showing that form he did at Atalanta. So questions there. Gonzalo Ramos worth 40 million. Maybe you want to elaborate on that one, Daniele. He's a player you really like. So, but as of now, the last defender I read about, which seems so close, was Senesi, a player I really liked at center back. So I'm still hoping that one figures out. But at the same time, when it comes to exiting players and them being sold, like as long as they're a player for my favorite team, I'll always hold out for them. I'll always hope that Mancini gets better and Ibanez continues to grow and that they can learn with the manager that there is right now, who's the best in the game. I prefer Ramos over Belotti for the attack. He's young with bright future. Vial, I just don't see that type of purchase coming in for big money, but I hope so. I hope as you do. Belotti on a free just seems to be the more practical choice. And as I look through these incoming players, as I mentioned, 3 out of 4 were on free transfers that are going to impact the first team. So departures, this one I think people will like to read. Let's get back to that one in a second. I'm going to leave that up, Sam, as I go through departures. Pau Lopez officially joins Marseille for 13.2 million euros. Cengiz Under also joins for just over 9.2 million euros, also to Marseille, doing God's work there for Roma. Olsen joins Aston Villa for 3.85. Florenzi joins for just under 3 million to Milan. What else? Chievo, the left winger, joins Sassuolo. Keep an eye on him. Tommaso Milanese joins Cremonese for less than a million, so 825,000. Tommaso Milanese joins Cremonese. So maybe we'll get to see him, as Cremonese is in Serie A this season. Mkhitaryan, of course, joins Inter on a free. Fusato joins Ibiza on a free. Pezzella joins Triestina and Stefano Greco. So some other. Reynolds joins Westerlo in the Belgian league. And Santon, his contract expired. Oliveira returns to Porto. Maitland-Niles returns to Arsenal. And Mayoral returns to Real Madrid. This, of course, was the end of their loan deals. So the one thing I really like, though, is that Pinto, as much praise as he gets for the players incoming, is he's still doing a lot of work, shedding the wage bill, getting players who are not part of this project off of the books. And sometimes that's just as important, because you cannot get more until you get rid of what you already have. And if those players are just eating away salaries and raising the wage bill, it's detrimental to a team's balance sheet. So good stuff there by Pinto. Do we need a top defensive mid like Neves or Luis? Sam says, I would love that. However, my gut tells me that Matic will be a starter with interchanging with Bove, whereas on the other side, you will see Cristante interchange with probably Wijnaldum if he does join. So that's just the way I'm seeing it right now. I don't think I think Wijnaldum could be the Mr. X that's been rumored all summer, but I would love Neves or Luis because I think that with one of those guys, then you really start to compete for like the first and second spots because they're invaluable. I love defensive midfielders. I really feel like they are the backbone of every team. You could say the keeper, one center back, but if I had to base starting my team off of one player, it would be the defensive midfielder. So we get El Shaarawy for Pasalic there from Sam. That would be interesting. I wonder what's going to happen with El Shaarawy. I wonder if he's happy, if he wants to take a more prominent role. Named the defender, left foot, Bragantino. Bragantino is really good. Roma was monitoring him. Di Marzio said that they refused Roma's offer of 10 mil. Interesting one. Interesting one there. Jorge says the focus needs to be on midfield, by Gini and keep Veretout. I agree. I really hope that Veretout stays. Like I said, I feel like he is a quality player. If you get both Lucas Torreira, my man, and Wijnaldum, that's your 6 and 8 right there. Yeah. Hitting the soft spot for me, man. I would love to see Torreira, who's actually in Florence right now. I saw on some Arsenal page that a fan took a picture with him in Florence's airport, and I could tell it really was Florence's airport by the very old yellow ceiling, which definitely leaks from time to time. So that would be interesting, Vile. So yeah, Torreira, another one. I'm excited to see what happens with Tottenham. I'm definitely going to do some YouTube on Mourinho's presser following and after that, see what he says, because that's going to be a competitive match. Roma hasn't had this caliber type of friendly so far in the off season. Other stuff that's been going on, people in Formula One, Sebastian Vettel has called it a day. The man won Formula One from 2010 to 2013, the youngest world champion in Formula One, and the third most race victories with 53, and podium finishes, and fourth most pole positions. Man, he's going to be missed. When I started getting into Formula One, this guy was really dominating. Right now he's driving for Aston Martin, but at 35 years old, he's probably feeling like, I'm ready to move on. I wonder if he has some kids. Yeah, they have 3 children. I tell you what, like once somebody starts to have a kid, I feel like they lose. There has to be. I feel like there's a voice inside the back of their head that stops them from going to the absolute limit, because at that point, life becomes more than just them. So, ciao, Vettel. It was very good knowing you. A couple more comments here. I prefer Bove over Veretout, Daniele says. Veretout can interchange with Wijnaldum, I think you mean. Well, we have 4 players for 2 spaces. So, okay. A lot of love for Bove, who I think is going to be a pretty popular player among Romanisti, the fans. He's going to get a lot of support, I think. Romanista looks to be in that mold. Maybe not like De Rossi, but definitely that center mid who hopefully breathes the ethos of the club for sure. 60 million for Zaniolo. What should Roma do with that cash? Who would we bring? That's I'll say that's a worst case scenario for me at this point if Zaniolo leaves. 1, because I really believe in him. 2, because it's getting late and the season is just on the horizon. If he did leave, though, and you got 60, I think, yeah, then you look at bringing in the top defensive mid and probably maybe someone like Berardi, although Sassuolo just gave him number 10, so I'm not sure that that's going to happen. But definitely somebody that raises the quality of the team, right? It can't just I think Roma's past the point where they sell 1 star and use it to diversify with 3 or 4 players. I think they're past that, where if you did get 60 million, it would be used probably for 2 players instead of 4, because the quality has reached a certain point at this moment in time. I think Veretout doesn't fit the 3 at the back formation. Well, I do think that Veretout, his strength is when he can be more of a libero, a free player in the midfield, and doesn't need that discipline for him when he can just roam and pull the strings as he wants, rather than somebody like Wijnaldum, for example, who can sit a little bit more and then evade pressure. And he's not a defensive midfielder who's going to sweep out your legs and recover the ball at the same time. It's just not his thing. Let's see what Daniela said. Daniela has lost 6 to 7 kilograms. That's about 13 to 15 pounds. The offer from Tottenham is totally fake. Only Juve want him, but not really. They're not going to offer 50 mil. He also has a son with ex-partner that can't go with him. So, yeah, I wonder, you read a lot about this stuff. Is it genuine, these offers from Tottenham or Juventus, whatever it might be? But a lot of times I think it's just journalism. Sometimes agents even leak. I'm not saying his agent did, but sometimes they'll leak info just to drive up price. But I really do hope Zaniolo stays. I hope he re-signs that contract. I'm just going to refresh some of the news sites here. So Torino cerca Shomorodov e può aiutare Pinto a prendere Belotti. So now what they're saying in Italian news is that Torino might like Shomorodov, and that could help push Belotti. But I could have swore Belotti was free. Or maybe he just has one more year. Let's go to Transfer Market, the trusty Transfer Market, to confirm that. Got my iPad here. This thing is phenomenal. All right, Belotti. I could have swore that he was free, like done. And if so, that's the case, then no, without club, he's free. So that's case in point how journalists just make stuff up. Like, Shomorodov going to Torino would have no bearing on what happens with Belotti at Roma. It's just nonsense people write. They got to do their homework. Anyway, maybe you watched The Sopranos. And anyway, yesterday I went to see the final scene where the location is called Holston's, an old ice cream parlor. It's called the Luncheonette. So it's this old business model. It used to be really popular in the States, especially New Jersey, New York, where you go in, there's a counter, and then there's booths where people can sit down and they eat, and they'll serve like burgers, chicken sandwiches, fried food, onion rings, fries, stuff like that, and ice cream. And if you remember, if you're Sopranos, obsessed like I am, you remember the final scene, Tony playing the jukebox, Meadow trying to park her car, and just the tension that was building, like, oh my gosh, this guy in the jacket, is he going to kill Tony Soprano? And then it fades to black, of course. Sorry, spoiler, if you haven't seen The Sopranos. Telling you, the ice creams this place was pumping out, the sundaes, like, I'm actually more of an ice cream person rather than a gelato guy. I know people are probably going to trash me in the comments for that one. But anyway, the sundaes, they were putting hot fudge, fresh cherries, pralines, like anything you could imagine. This place was phenomenal. Little place, not too far, half hour from where I live in Bloomfield, New Jersey, Holston's. So if you're ever in the area, you're going to go, let me know. Be like, Wayne, going to Holston's. Do you want ice cream? Be like, yeah, I'll totally come. But back to the calcio, back to Roma. Got a couple more minutes here. These episodes fly by. It's already 33 and a half minutes. I don't believe it. Sam says, what has been your impression of Mourinho, especially after the 6-1 defeat when he decided some players weren't good enough? I think that's exactly what you have to do. Is when you're like, the quality isn't there, we have to make changes. You have to be cutthroat, especially when it comes to building something, because there's no excuses to be made in a project where you have to trim the fat, so to speak. And Mourinho is an expert at that. He's an expert at seeing players and things for exactly what they are. And when it comes time to make decisions, he's the man to do it. And you saw after that slump that Roma had, I think in like January, February, in between those 2 months where the pressure was really coming onto him, then Roma started to build and build and build, and they got better. And then the European places turned around. They started to do really well. And suddenly the team that they lost to 6-1 in Norway, they killed them. They had no chance once they came to Rome. And it was time for the, the quarterfinals at that point, a round of 16. I think it was the quarters versus Bodo. So you definitely see so much growth under Mourinho. the backing from management, the players who he treats like they're his sons, when they buy into him. And that's what it takes. You have to have somebody to really believe when you're trying to shift a culture. And it's such foresight and great thinking, great mentality there to bring Mourinho in and to fully trust him. What's up, Paul? How you doing? Going to Hostings tonight. You are? No way. We live in Clifton. Yes, exactly. Oh, man. Next time you go, give me a shout. I think I'm pretty sugared out from my milkshake yesterday. But, Hostings that place is legit. I love luncheonettes. And just because it's the final scene of Sopranos just makes it ever more special. You going to some games in Rome? Awesome. Yes, for sure. Let me know. Omar says, love these episodes. Can't wait for more content for you once the season starts. Yes, man. Yo, thank you so much. People, I appreciate that. Hit that like button if you can as well. I've been really happy since I've started to invest in this channel that it keeps on growing, and I'm getting positive support from people like Omar. So, I really appreciate that. This is really what I really love to do. So, man, whatever else I've done, as a writer, this and that, this is just, it's so much fun. And I love, like, the one thing that I've always, I think, wanted to be was like a connection between fans and the club. So being able to speak and just relay news or thoughts is just so freaking cool to me. For sure. Yes, I think that would be great. Let's do a yes. That would be awesome. So Paul and I are going to meet at Hostins for some ice cream sundaes. Anyway, any comments? Some last comments. Let's wrap this up. It is 12:15, just about lunchtime. Today I'm chilling. I don't have much to do. I'm going down to the beach tomorrow with my wife, and then spending, I think, the weekend down there. So I might miss. With that being said, I might miss the Tottenham tomorrow. It's got to be tomorrow, right? Roma Tottenham. Amichevole. Oh no, it's Saturday. Darn. Okay. So maybe on Sunday, once I get back, I'll do a little recap for that. It's going to be Saturday, 2:15 for me, which if you're in Western Europe, that is 8:15 p.m., 8:15 at night. So I wonder what the Tottenham squad looks like right now. But I think on top of, just besides the squad, they've got who is the manager, Antonio Conte. So let's see, squad, because I remember this team doing pretty good under Conte last time I looked. Richarlison, that's right, he just joined the team. Richarlison is a baller. Gotta watch out for that kid. Son, of course, Harry Kane. Kulusevski, who's been lighting it up. Perisic joined. That's right, Perisic. It's going to be good for them. Lenglet. Christian Romero, who played for Atalanta not the last season, the season before that, 2021. He was a big signing for them. I think over 35 million euros. Lucas is still there. Jeez. Bentancur. I don't know. I thought Bentancur was going to be a good player for Juve. Surprised that one didn't work out. Sessegnon, Hugo Lloris, Ndombele, Højbjerg, Lo Celso. This is a legit team, this Tottenham. They've got talent. I'm like a little nervous about this now. Anyway, that's our email. We're on Bloomfield. Oh, I see. We're on Bloomfield every day. Paul, hit me up a comment or a private message if you can. I don't see your email there. Maybe I'll just check back the comments if you wrote it here. Who is this? Misitano of Place for Roma. He's in their Primavera. Interesting. Misitano. I'll keep an eye on him. I didn't know much about him, Daniele. Done reception in Rome for Dybala. Off the charts. Excellent. With Tottenham of Conte, Premier League starts before than Serie A. Oh, that's true. Tottenham will be a little bit more conditioned. One of the best in the world. Conte hates Mourinho. I have fear of a bad match. Anche io ho un po' di paura di questa partita. Conte. This is going to be some fireworks, I think. How am I going to watch this game? Darn. I feel like I'm going to, I'll just pull it up on the beach. Yeah, I got free. I got unlimited service on my phone. Volpato and Bove's year to explode. I definitely agree that Volpato is such an exciting player, and I think that Bove will explode as well. So, guys, lasting comments. Thanks so much. Keep an eye on the Mercato. I have a feeling that someone's going to be coming to Rome sooner than later, just because the season's right around the corner. So hopefully this Mercato is wrapped up before the start of the season. But even so, it's such a unique time in that players can be signed after I think 3 to 4 matches in, that players can still be signed. So we'll see how that affects this season as well. But I'm glad to see Roma acquiring some depth, hopefully. And let me know what you think. Spread this page to Romanisti all over. Tag me, thumbs up, whatever. Thanks a lot, guys. Will Dybala play on Saturday? Yeah, he's gonna play. That's for sure. Ciao. We'll talk later. My man, Paul. You're the best. Thank you. Appreciate that, brother. Peace.